Okay, today we're going to look at determining if tables have a constant slope. So our first method that we're going to look at is we're pretty much going to use the formula for finding slope. So we're going to do a change in y over a change in x. So first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how does our x change. And so if we start on the bottom and we go up, we're going to say 11 minus 9 will give us 2. 9 minus 7 will give us 2. 7 minus 5 will give us 2. Now, the same thing on the other side, we need to do our change in y. So we're going to have negative 1 minus 1, which if you do keep change, will give you negative 2. 1 minus 3 will give you negative 2. And 3 minus 5 will give you a negative 2. Now, what we need to do is we need to set this up and say the change in y over the change in x. So what we're going to see is my change in y is negative 2. Over, at the same time, my change in x is 2. The next one I have again negative 2 and 2, and then negative 2 over 2 again. So I can say that these are all equal to each other, and they all simplify to negative 1 if it's easier to look that way. Since these are all the same, if they're all equal, it means they are linear, which means if it's linear, it will have a constant slope. So now let's take a second and look at a second example together. So on this table, I'm going to do my change in x. 5 minus 4 will give me a 1. 4 minus 3 will give me 1. 3 minus 2 will give me a 1. 2 minus 0 will give me a 2. And then again, the same on for y. I have negative 3 minus 1, which will give, minus negative 1. Sorry, skipped a negative. You got to pay close attention. Will give me negative 2. Negative 1 minus 1 will give me negative 2. 1 minus 3 will give me negative 2. And 3 minus 5 is also negative 2. So then we're going to set up our change in y over our change in x. So y always goes first. Negative 2 over 1. Negative 2 over 1. Negative 2 over 1. Negative 2 over, this time I have 2. So these are equal, these are equal. These two are not equal to each other. If we simplified, we would have negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, and then that does not equal negative 1. Since they are not all the same, that means it is not linear. So a constant slope, like on the first problem, where they were all the same, it will be linear. When we do not have a constant slope, it will be not linear.